Hi. So spent a lot of the time today as a facilitator trying to work with our local team here in Italy through some decisions about our self-service implementation. And afterwards, over dinner, talking to my colleague about the work that we were doing, and got into a discussion about particular styles as a facilitator or a presenter, and some of the things that work well and don't work well for us, and learned a little bit about myself. So we had a few moments today where my partner in all this has actually been through this material previously, whereas I have not. This is my first time presenting it. And a couple of times she, I won't say interrupted, that's a strong way to say it, but made a comment during the presentation regarding the order in which I was covering something. For the sake of explanation, we're going through a spreadsheet covering some data pieces, and she had asked, hey, at this point do we want to go back and cover something over here, whereas as I'm going through it, I have a very particular order I'm going in. Even if I've just set that order in my head 30 seconds ago, this is the order I want to cover this material. Then there was a question about should we go back and do it this way. And it bothered me as a presenter because it interrupted me, even though we're in a workshop environment where those discussions are great and it's important to get good conversation happening between all the people in the room. So the question really became, why does that bother me? Why does it interrupt me as a presenter when it's really supposed to be an open and collaborative environment? And I went back to something that I've learned about myself, in that while I tend to be, especially when I'm up in front of a room, I tend to be very off the cuff, unscripted. I'm pretty good, all modesty aside, at doing presentations. But deep down inside and behind the scenes, I am very much a scripted individual. When I do these video posts, I don't bother scripting anything. I have a vague inkling of what I want to talk about, but it's mostly off the cuff. And when I present in front of a room, I tend to give off that same impression that I'm very off the cuff. I don't really plan a lot of things out, and it's more conversational than anything else. The truth of the matter is, when I do a presentation, when I know I'm going to be in front of a group of people, whether it's 5 people or 500 people, I am very much a scripted presenter. I tend to literally type out all of my words, the script I want to follow, not just bullet points, but the actual script. And then I learn that script, and then I build the slides off of them. And professional presenters will tell you that that's how they tend to do their presentations. They build the narrative, they build the presentation to match. And I don't do it because I think that's how good presenters are supposed to do it, although that helps. I more do it because I did some theater work when I was young. I'm used to learning dialogue and learning what has to be said, so I don't have to think so much about it. And I can focus more on audience interaction, participation, the eye contact piece, instead of worrying about what comes next. So I tend to script everything out, and then I build slides around that. And the slides are really just there as anchor points to the things I want to say as I go through. So if I do get lost, if I forget what comes next, I've got something on the screen to tell me what it is I'm talking about. And I think one of the reasons it bothers me so much as a presenter, when I have those suggestions that come up, and even honestly when they're good suggestions, I mean, a lot of the times when she's giving me those thoughts, it's meant in a positive way, and they're good suggestions. They actually enhance the discussion we're having. But it's more because it's an interruption of the flow. And I think, for some reason in the back of my head, that as co-presenters, there's a lack of a professional polish when you have to stop during the middle of a presentation and discuss how you're going to present something, even if, again, it is a workshop environment. It is meant to be very collaborative. It's meant to be very open. There's meant to be a lot of discussion about it. So that's something I struggle with, and it's something that I have to learn to be more accepting of when I'm presenting with someone else, to make sure that it's okay in certain environments for us to have those conversations. So, that's part of being self-aware. It's part of understanding what your own style looks like and about the way that you operate, and that, our own biases, our own opinions of our performances don't necessarily translate to those outside just of our own skull, right? While this voice might be the loudest, it's certainly not the only one when it comes to your performance and your presentation. So be aware of the people around you. Be aware of the intent when someone tries to help, the feedback they give you. Too often we knee-jerk react to feedback, and we get very negative and very defensive. So when you get that feedback, even when you haven't asked for it, try to remember what is the motivation behind that feedback. Why are you getting it? What is the intent of that person in trying to help you improve your performance, improve your communications, and to be a better partner, presenter, manager, employee, or friend. So those are my thoughts of the evening. Have a great night. Talk to you later.